Well, good morning, good morning. Oh, there we are, live and in living color. Here comes the Casper. All right. Good morning, good morning. Let me know where you are. We're going to gong ourselves in about 2 minutes. But boy, we got a quick response once we went live. Good to see you on Facebook and YouTube. We're about to start with Coffee with Casper. Here's the Casper. He got his paws on me. There we go. There's the Casper. I got my coffee. You can have your beverage of choice. A little cool here in Southern California this morning, but springtime, at least it's not raining right now. It's really not raining right now. All right. Welcome, welcome. Let me know where you're checking in from. Put your comments up there on Facebook. We'll check in together. Where's that big boy? Yeah, big boy. He was a wild man yesterday. Ran away from his dog escort. I was busy. He had a dog walker, and then he ran away from him. So that was scary. We're grateful for our friends. Hey, it's Boise, Idaho, checking in. Hey, Dave, nice to see you this morning. Good to be seen. All right, good to be seen, good to be heard, good to be doing your thing. We're gathering light workers from all around the globe. Going to check in. Right now we know about Boise, Idaho, but we'll hear from everybody else. Here they coming in. Good morning, good morning. All right, about a minute to go and we'll gong ourselves in and we'll have a little 20 minutes just to see where our inspiration wants to take us and how we might support each other in bringing more and more light, that cosmic light that comes from the heart into the world. Checking in, welcome. People are watching last week's video, I see. That's nice. Always good. We've been up there. We're now 3 years running with Coffee with Casper, and we're so glad you've been part of the journey. We're glad to have you here today. Let me know where you're checking in from. Here we go. There's our time. Let's gong ourselves in. Here we go. Everybody take a big, deep breath in. We'll let the sound ah. And as we're hearing the vibration from the gong, what we know is that each and all of us are putting out a vibration all of the time. And that vibration is determining not only how the world is feeding back to us, but it's determining how we're going and how we're doing as we're growing our souls forward. Let me put your comments in on Facebook. We want to know who's here. What's happening? We're glad you're with us this morning. And we'll take one more deep breath, one more with the gong. We'll let the sound out. Here we go. Good morning, Pam. Good to see you this morning. And relaxing the shoulders. And let's go ahead and bring our energy up into our heart center. And we'll go from there. As you can see, the wind is blowing here in Southern California, so we'll just go with the flow. We are glad you are here, and you're glad to be with us. Well, tomorrow marks the beginning of Passover. We're already in the season of Ramadan, which is the Muslim celebration, celebrating the first verses of the Quran for that tradition. And then, of course, we're moving into Easter Sunday as we're going through all of this Holy Week. And the reason, what we know is that source, energy, that which is the beginning and the end, that which is all, doesn't have a favorite religion. You do. Each of us has our pathway that we like, that we want to participate in. And that's ours to do, is to find our particular pathway. Everybody's pathway, if they're finding a connection with source, a way of relating, and it doesn't matter, God, source or God or energy and matter are equal to change. The one energy that we all are immersed from has to be bigger than any one religion, because it's all religions and beyond all religions, and it doesn't have a favorite religion. As I often have said, God doesn't care what you call it, it only cares that you call. And it's up to each of us in our own worlds to create our own relationship with Source. And Rob Knight likes your post. And so, okay, well, we're posting away. We're broadcasting live. We're glad you're here. Let me know where you're checking in from. We are glad you're here. We're live. We're on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Harry Morgan Moses, and you're watching Coffee with Casper. And Casper's over there eating flowers. That's his thing this morning. So the reason we mention this holy, did I mention your name? You want to come up again? Come on. There you go. There's a Casper boy. I'm not getting many of you checking in. Are you all checking in? Are you typing up on the post? We're glad to have Boise here. We don't know where else everybody is. So let me know where you're checking in. Make your comments. So here's what we know. That because there are so many souls from so many different traditions checking in with Source in their own way, and according to their own path this week, what's happening when we have that many people turning up to Source energy, to God, to beginning, to creation, to whatever, we are creating a collective consciousness in humanity that is typically in this Holy Week more reverent. We are going. I can see we're going. I was checking to see that we're going live. It's more reverent than a typical week because we have so many traditions turning toward their version of Source and their relationship with Source and honoring that relationship with Source. And that's good for each of us and for all of us because the universe responds to us personally in the way that we are personal with the universe. I love two stories. The story of Brother Lawrence, whose job he chose, his job was to stay connected to his personal relationship to Source. And one of the great lines out of that book is, I had contact at the bow of the boat, and by the time I walked to the stern, I had lost it. Where did God go? And the answer is, of course, God or Source doesn't go anywhere. We go somewhere. So this idea of staying in tune with the infinite is, good morning, 16 people on right now. Okay. Well, thank you, Dave. I'm not getting that, but I'm glad you are, and that's okay. So wherever you are, I'll get your comments sooner or later, but right now we're concerned with broadcasting live, and I'm glad you're here. From wherever you are, we know we have our friends. We have people from all over the country and from other countries as well joining us. And what we're doing here is gathering together those people who know that each one of us carry a light, that light that is in our heart. From the famous movie E.T., what we're really about is turning up your heart light, yes? That's what so that we can remember what we're doing. So in the midst of this chalice, and by the way, tomorrow, not only is it Passover, but it's also the Passover full moon, which is also how they determine when Easter is based on the last full moon and 2 weeks after the last full moon, blah, 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 blah. You can look all that up. But the bottom line is that Easter is not a fixed date, so we're not really celebrating a particular date. We're celebrating a concept, the concept that each of us can rise up into our highest self and begin to view the universe from that place. The master teacher, Jesus said, these things and more shall ye do, meaning that we are in tuning ourselves to the infinite and rising up into a higher level of consciousness. So I'm going to just try this to see if I can catch all of you. I'm going to try to refresh this page and see where we are. Hope that doesn't lose us. Okay, there we go. There's everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Elizabeth from North Hollywood, Studio City. We got some Southern Californians with us. I know we have some Topangans with us today. That's lovely. We're looking for now I see comments all over the place. There we go. Nice to see you. We're glad you're here. I don't know why it wasn't coming through, but we got them now. So this is the week when everybody is focused on their own relationship with the Most High. We can contribute by bringing forward our understanding of the unity of all life, our understanding of the field of oneness that is the whole collective consciousness of humanity. And while humans are being perhaps more reverent in this week than not all humans, but many billions on the planet are seeking to remember whom they belong to and where they came from, as we often use the wonderful quote from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and that quote is, "We came from the light, we put on a coat of skins, we shall return to the light." So we got Deborah and Becky and Daz and Reg, and Arizona's here, and Hollywood, and Palm Desert, and North Carolina, and San Diego, and oh my God, we're all gathered. Light workers gathering to remember this is Holy Week. We're going to bring more light into the world. And if you saw the poster that we put out yesterday, we thank Candace for helping with those posters. It says, it's a picture of Casper. He's been chasing the ball for quite a while. And we were with grandkids, and the grandkids were willing to throw the ball some more. So he went and ran under a bush in the shade, even though it's been cool here, and took a breath. But then while he was breathing, panting away over there under the shade tree, he was looking to see who was going to throw the next ball. And so the quote that we put underneath there was, take a breath and then be ready for the next good, right? Sometimes we face challenges, and sometimes the way it goes, God loves waves. So sometimes we're facing a kind of wave that moves us, and sometimes they come in sets. So sometimes we get hit by a wave, and then we come up for a breath, and then we get hit by another wave, and then finally that set of waves passes, and then we have a chance to take a breath. It's not that I'm not going to stop swimming or that I'm not going to surf the next group of waves that come in, but I'm now going to take a breath while I wait for whatever the next movement of my life is. And what we have been saying here, that your attitude, we already know, your attitude affects your altitude. So the way that you are approaching your life every day, the way that you are approaching your relationship to the one, and how you want to be in that relationship, and however that is, it's personal to you, and that is a very, very sacred space. Yes? So what we want to know, what we want to do is accentuate that space by remembering, okay, I've got these goals and dreams and desires, and they're I'm watching. And this has been going on since the late 80s, that we're trying to be manifestors, we're trying to create, we're trying to work on our dreams, and we get ourselves wound up so that we always feel that we're one step behind, right? The faster I go, the farther behinder I get. And this is where we come to this place where we begin to work with the universe. That we know that as we create goals and dreams and desires and intentions about what we want to bring into the world, that we have to follow through with action. But it doesn't mean that it's action all the time. It's like breathing. You breathe in and you breathe out. You breathe in and you can't just breathe in, and you can't just breathe out. You've got to go with the rhythms that are life. And so our participation with the cosmos, or the law of the circle, and we remember the law of the circle is pretty simple. What comes from me, the sum total of my words, thoughts, dealings, feelings, and actions, come back to me, return to me as my experience. So if you really want to be honest with yourself about how are things are going in your world, the answer is, how's it looking today? How are things going today? It doesn't mean there are not challenges in the day. It doesn't mean there's not responsibilities in the day. But how are you doing today? How's your breath today? Are you perceiving the sacred in the day? Can you hear the birds singing in the day? When your beloveds want to be close to you, can you honor them? Can you be aware of that idea, that concept, right? And that's where we are. We're right now in this Holy Week. It's a chance to take a breath, to maybe take a walk and think about your relationship with Source. Maybe in your meditation, bring in a celebration of the saints and the sages and the masters and the mystics who have all contributed to an awakening world, because you now and we now in this collective chalice, cup of consciousness, are bringing forth a light of the awareness of the unity of all life, a constant seeking for the law of harmony, knowing that harmony is heaven's first law, and that within me is that core of purity, that it zones, that comes from that harmony, that tones out, that rings out with that sound and feeling of clarity, that broadcast that's coming from me, that I'm a broadcasting station, and what I'm vibrating is returning to my experience, but it's also touching the world. It's touching everybody. And every time that you and I connect with Source, take a breath, and then we use that expression, good and more good is mine. There's no limit to the good that is mine. Why would there be a limit to the good that is yours? You came from the light. You belong to the light. You were one with the light. When you add a candle to a room full of candles, there's never, the light doesn't say, oh, there's too much light. No, the light is automatically accepted. When you add your good to emerging good in the world, to the emerging good in your friends and family and neighbors and those who are touching your experience, when you add that good, that's going to return to you as your experience. When you, I'm so grateful to my new friends who, when the dog walker lost Casper yesterday, he was in danger and people were trying to help him, and it took a loving consciousness to actually call Casper to attract. They didn't know his name, but they found the place of love where Casper responded to that, and thank God they safely brought them to their house, and they read his collar, and they contacted me, and all is well. And as you see, Casper is here, being able to be with us this morning, and all is well. So we go through even a fear moment like that, a fear of loss, a fear of health, a fear of wealth, a fear of whatever that fear is. And that's the good time to go under that little shade tree, take a breath, and then say, okay, I'm looking for my next good. So in this Holy Week, so if you look, for example, at the Easter story, right? That story of Good Friday and then the horrible behaviors of man's inhumanity to man, looking like a disaster, the end of the great light worker coming into the world to lift us up. And then what we find is there's a deeper and more powerful truth going on. But just on the other side, take a breath, because on the other side of that bad behavior Friday, the consciousness between Source and Jesus himself was bringing forth into the human condition an awareness that had not, and a demonstration of that awareness that had not been there before. That we are born in the light, as the light, with the light, that we came from the light, that we have a right to vibrate and bring more and more light into our world, and that light translates as health, wealth, love, and success in our world. The more we, as the Dalai Lama says, my religion is kindness, the more we practice bringing that kindness into the world, the more we honor the sacred within ourselves, the more we honor the sacred within the earth, the more we honor the sacred within the elemental kingdoms, and through those elemental kingdoms, all of the varieties of forms and life and beauty and the manifestations of a cosmos twinkling in the skies. And we're the third planet from the sun on this little solar system called the Milky Way. The spectacularness of who and what you really are is being revealed, and that's what Passover is about. The angel of death passes over, that you may know that you are one with the light, that we may know that any sacred journey that we're on is one that's bringing a deeper connection, a deeper vibe, a deeper love, and a higher consciousness into the world. And as we look at the race mind, as we look at newspapers, as we look at the newspapers as a call to what needs our attention and what needs prayer and what needs focus and what needs love, we see that the great number of people are yet awakening to the truth of who and what they are. that the law of the circle, the law of mind, the law of reciprocal action, the law of attraction, it's all the same law. That what comes from me is returning to me in the multi-dimensional spectrum of my entire experience. And unless we're paying attention to it, unless we're watching what each new day is bringing and what possibility can be in front of us, unless we're looking, take a breath and look for the next great good. Whatever the storms were, yesterday ended last night, today is a new beginning, and there's a possibility for a rising up to a higher level of awareness than I have been in before. There's a possibility in this week to a rising up to a higher level of awareness than you've ever been in before. And when you have that flash of illumination, that spark of what we've been talking about, Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote, "Oh, but if you knew who you are, the suns, the stars, the universe, space could not hold you," right? You are beyond the galaxies, that the I am, the Christ, the Atman, the Buddha of your high self is the great miracle of the one, and that it gives itself unlimitedly, without limit to its creation. This is the gift of life itself. This is the Holy Week itself. And this is your opportunity now, in this week, to take a breath. Okay, whatever has happened has happened. Yesterday ended last night, and I am born anew into a higher level of consciousness, into a deeper level of love, into a higher level of receptivity, and open to experience the glory of the I am that I am. This is your birthright. This is who you are. This is who we are. And so as you bring more and more light into the world this week, what I want you to know is who you are is making a difference. Cleansing, healing, moving forward in your life is making a difference. Managing the challenges, getting through them, and then taking a breath and looking for a greater good. Even accepting your good, getting through it and taking a breath and going into a greater good. This is yours to do. Take a breath and look for the next new good. I'm Harry Morgan Moses. You're watching Coffee with Casper. We'll be back here next week. Casper's right here with me. We'll be back here next week. And until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide you on your way. Bye for now. Say bye, Casper. See you later. Oh, yeah, there's a boy. There's a wagtail boy. Okay, bye. See you next week. Spread the word.